Well, good afternoon. Welcome to VP4 TV. This match that we're going to have in about 10 minutes' time is one that caught me off guard. Got home from work today, checked the schedule. We knew there was 3 matches on the schedule, but there's now 4. Quick look, and we will see that Fast Eddie and Bedhead are set to go at the top of the hour at 1700 British Summer Time. That's 1400 Eastern Time, 1300 Central and Mountain Time, and it was at I think it's 10 AM Pacific, and this is a one-loss side match. Fast Eddie from the USA, Bedhead from Sweden, race to 13. The other matches that are on the schedule, those are the ones that have been set for a few days. We've got a big night tomorrow night and then a big night on Wednesday night. We have 2 matches tomorrow. One on the loser's side between Mr. Bill and Cobra. That's going to be a USA United Kingdom match. Cobra from the UK, Bill from the USA. And that kicks off at 1800 British Summer Time tomorrow night. And it's a race to 13. And in 2 hours' time after that one starts, we've then got a winner's side match between Stubb, Real Poland Power from the USA, and Barker's 155 from the UK. That goes ahead at 2000 hours or 8 PM tomorrow night. So there's a chance that the Bill Cobra match might be over and there'll be a little interlude or interval between the 2 matches. And so we'll have a double header tomorrow. And of course tomorrow as well, I finish my shift tomorrow and then that's me for a couple of days. But the big match, the big one we're waiting on, is the match between Albinario from Sweden and Spectadon from the United Kingdom, and that goes ahead on Wednesday night, and that kicks off at 8 PM, and that being a winner's side match will be a race to 13, as is the Stubb Barkers match, because that's a winner's side match as well tomorrow. So all good matches to look forward to, none more so than one that we've got this afternoon. Welcome to Slim. It could be a good one. If Eddie plays solid enough, he's good enough to stay in it. And welcome to Dwight. And welcome to anyone else who has joined. Welcome to Bill. Well, I don't know whether Steve knows this is on, but he might be busy, I don't know. But we will see. He hasn't messaged me or anything, so if he shows up, he shows up. Until then, it'll be a solo act this afternoon. But I think Bedhead will be the slight favourite. But I think if Eddie takes his opportunities, it's all down to Eddie. If he's going to play into Bedhead's hands, he'll be making too many mistakes. We've seen that in previous match. Too many mistakes are going to cost you at this stage of the tournament. And if you look at the names that are left, when you see that bracket, and we see who has fallen in the last couple of days, Cheeky Chico's gone. Bill went through there. Cobra got through because of Cerro forfeited. If you look down, you've got Hairpig, who made too many mistakes and it cost him. If you look further down again, you've got Popman, who made too many mistakes and it cost him. And this is what I was talking about. When you get to this stage of the tournament, you cannot afford to be throwing away opportunities, let alone when it's an open table. You must have the skill and ability to find your way out all the time. because that's the only way you're going to put pressure on these guys who are, in theory, the stronger players. And that's what it probably looks like tonight, that Bedhead would be the stronger player, and Eddie is on the sort of sidelines trying to get in amongst this lot of players. And if Eddie plays his game and he cuts out the errors, then he can cause an upset here. The one thing about Bedhead is he can't afford to do the same thing. But when Eddie gets his chances, particularly from an error by Bedhead, he has to put them away. If he doesn't do that, then he's narrowed his chances of getting a result here this afternoon. That's what I think. So it could run close, but it's all down to how well Eddie's going to pick up those chances. So we're about 4 minutes away. Chance for maybe a few more people to join. I'm actually looking at Twitch, and I don't particularly like the way the chat goes up on Twitch. I'm just going to switch to YouTube. Hang on a minute. Just a wee sec. That's better. The chat looks better. I'm looking at the chat on Twitch now. It looks better. It's a bit more compact than it is on Twitch. Mind you, I've only got a 14-inch old second monitor here, but it still looks better on it than it does on Twitch. Welcome to Cobra. Cobra's handed in his prediction. 13-10 to Bedhead. I would probably agree with that. Yeah, I would probably agree with it, but Eddie's got to be off and running. He's got to be running his hit, or I think what I'm looking for is hit the ground running. That's what he has to do. He has to get off to a good start, and he has to be seen to be a threat to Bedhead. He's got to make Bedhead think and put that doubt in his mind. Well, that second monitor I've got, I wouldn't have had a second monitor because I was using the XSplit Gamecaster. I don't need a second monitor. I just happen to have it on. Well, I had it on Twitch. I've now got it on YouTube just to see how long the feed is, or it takes for the live feed to get through to YouTube. It's approximately about 4 seconds. Good afternoon to Spectre. So both players are here. Bedhead has been in away mode all the time. I came in. Fast Eddie was in getting some practice. I can't see. Oh, he's still in a room. He's still in a room getting practice. Bedhead. Well, if he's been practicing, he certainly hasn't been doing it in the last hour and a half since I've been here. So he's quite happy to go into the room cold and find his feet then. Let's see if he's going to regret that. So we're about ready to roll. Now, hopefully everybody's happy with the picture, everybody's happy with the sound, and there's no complaints. If there is, write to the management. That's what I say. There's nothing can be done about it. He's been trying to lose a few pounds, Bedhead. Oh, Spectre's going the other way. Spectre's going 13-11. I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise if it was 13-11 to Fast Eddie. He's capable. You know, the thing is, he's got to believe that. If he goes into the match not believing he can win, then that's never a good start. So we are just beyond the hour. The room has got to be going up any second. And we are in, good to go. And Bedhead's already in, so he's keen. But if he hits them all like that, he's got no chance. I think he's trying to get rid of some anger. I think he needs some anger management classes he needs. Well, here we are, both players in. Lag for the break. Bedhead is on the right hand side of the screen as we look. And it looks as if Bedhead has won this. Maybe not. Is he going to get there? I think he has. No, Eddie got it. Really close at the end. So we all know what Eddie wants as a start. A great start as a ball, a shot, and a break and run. Well, he's got the ball, and he's not really got a shot. I don't know that that's a good bank. Let's have a look. No, it isn't. But he could try and get cover. He's went all out for the cut. He's grabbed the bull by the horns, decided he's going to have a go. And, well, it's a good shot. But he's going to have to play a really good shot to get on this 4 where it's going to go past the 8. It is really tight. But if he can't get good on the 4, then he's looking to play a decent safety. He's always got that in mind. And if he's going to try and get in line with that 4, he needs to watch the 10 ball. Looks as if he's coming in behind the 6, is he? Well, we know that this is very, very tight, this 4 ball. Extremely tight. In fact, far too tight to be playing it at this angle. Well, this isn't easy, I'll tell you that, Slim. This is really, really asking to run into that 8 ball. And not much room past the 8 ball without running into that left jaw. Now he's called the 8 and played the combo. How's his rollout here? Well, it's not great. He's at least he can see the 4, that's the only thing. And it is not an easy 4 ball. And he's got to watch the scratch. But he's going to play the bank. And he's still got to watch the scratch. That 5 ball will go into the corner. So this is a clincher. If he can get this and get any sort of shape on this 5, and he's way off the mark. Now he needs this to roll to the cushion, but it's going to be a Bedhead cut, I think. Yeah. So Eddie's decided aggression is going to be the way to win. We'll see how that works out. Oh, he's gone for the bank as well, and the pace in the cue ball is perfect. I think he might be still the wrong side of this 5. Yes, he is. I thought it was. I mean, if it had ran down to there, he would have been fine. He's now just got the problem with manoeuvring this cue ball and avoiding that 7. He's avoided the 7, and how's his luck? Well, he's okay. He's okay, he's got the shot. And this looks to be the wrong angle now. He's gone a bit too far. And again, he can just cut this in with a bit of left and bring it into the middle of the table and leave the thin cut in the 9 again. That may well be what he's going to do here. He's got a bit of left on it, but it's still going to open up the table, but he needs to come over far enough. He can't underhit this. He's still going, well, he's going centre ball. So it looks as if he's running away. And well, he might have been better to go with the first thing he had in mind, is to play it with a bit of left English, hit it hard enough to go to the rail and come into play. And he's chopped and changed his mind there, and he's caught himself out. He's overthought it. And he failed on the pot, and that's now given Eddie a great chance on his break, remember, to get a good start. So the first one on the board, and now Bedhead to break in rack number 2. And now it's dry, and Eddie has a shot in the 1 now. Does he go 1, 2, 3 rails? The only danger is he could run into the 3 and 5 here, I think. It looks, it's hard to say, because he obviously can't pot the 2 up past the 9, so he's got to run this at least 3 rails and avoid a scratch in the side. 1, oh, he's come back, and that's excellent. Of course, now the problem is he's just got to take his medicine and drop behind this 3 and lock Bedhead up here, unless he can get into the spot to play the 3. So it's a I'll say that again, it's a 2-way shot. If he doesn't get good in the 3, he should be good enough to lock Bedhead up. That's not great, but can he get a thin edge on this 8 or 7 to brush across towards the 9? If he can, he may well have a shot on that 4 ball. And this is also going to open up the 7 and 8. So if this all goes perfectly for him, he could be out here. Well, he hasn't. He sort of bailed out, didn't he? He didn't really go right at it. I think if he'd hit that harder, that cue ball, look at the path the cue ball was taking, it'd have been over towards the 9. And he he went sort of half-hearted. Well, I think his idea was to leave the cue ball this side of the 4. I can see that in his mind, but maybe it'd have been better to run and try and run off those 2 balls. And this is going to be slightly hampered. Well, I think that I think he should have hit that firmer. Okay, he might not have finished great in the 4, but I mean, of course, the first thing he did was miss the pot, which you can't do. Well, this is going to be ugly. This is very ugly. And Eddie may well get another go here. And Bedhead is so tight to the 8 ball that he's limited to where he can try and find a line to try and get this 5. And he's having to swerve this off this cushion. Yeah, it was really tough. Well, now Eddie's got ball in hand. And the table at his mercy. Well, this is exactly the scenario that I keep talking about. We've all seen it. You know, Eddie's got the ball in his hand. He's putting it as awkward as he can for this bloody 5 ball. Why he doesn't take it up into the corner, I don't know. And now he's gone too close to the rail for comfort as well. But he's going to come back out. He ideally wants to get fairly straight in this 7 ball. He wants to just stun the 7 in and drop down for the 8 into the same pocket. That would be the simple way to do it. It needs to open up and keep opening up. Let's have a look. See, this is not great. Now he might. I don't know what he's going to do here. I mean, he was going to try and run past the 8 off the knuckle and out behind the 8 for the 8 into this corner pocket. It's hard to say. No, he's trying to just hold it. Well, that's not great either. He's going to have to draw off this to avoid the scratch. Or is he going to try and use the rail? I don't like it. Well, he's got left on it to try and come out to this side of the 9. Looks like what he's doing. And that's probably as good as he could expect. He can just drop this in. Now, what you do here is overhit this. Go to the rail and come back up for the 10. Go to the rail and come back up. The worst thing that can happen is you finish up here. You've still got a shot in the 10. So don't underhit this, whatever you do. And he needs to watch the shot clock. He's running out of time. And that pace is perfect. That'll do it. Well, Bedhead got himself locked up on the 8 ball. And Fast Eddie looks as if he's pouncing here for a 2-0 lead. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered. And now it's Fast Eddie's break. And he can really drive the advantage home here if he can get a good break. Well, no joy. Now, I wonder if Bedhead is going to be enticed into doing the same thing Eddie did with the 1 ball he had, and I think in the first rack. The big blast of a cut down the rail, but he has to get the cue ball back over more or less to where it is right now to have some sort of shot in the 2, unless he decides to leave the bank on the 2 down onto this 5. He's still got that as a bailout. So at worst, he's going to have a bank here. And he's decided against it, and he has to get cover behind this 4. And he hasn't got it. Now, Eddie just wants to come up past the 8. And he's got a natural angle to do it. He just needs to come off that short rail into the gap between the 8 and 10. And he'll be on the 2. He doesn't need to worry about the 3. The 3 is a cinch. But he wants to be playing the 4 ball into the same pocket if he can. How does that look for getting on the 4? Well, he can cut it in with a bit of spin and bounce. He could have did with a bit more. It'll do, but he could have did with hitting that again a bit heavier just to get it out. There's a big margin of error there to get nice and comfortable on the 4. Well, he must leave an angle of some description off this 6. He doesn't want to be playing this 8 ball, this 7 ball long into a corner pocket if he can help it. He wants to get. Well, I think he's actually just committed the Cardinals in and he's got himself bolt straight in the 6. So now it's going to have to be a straight roll in this 7. And now he's in a bit of a dilemma because if he goes forward, he's got a big gap here to get into in this 8 ball. Is he going to chicken out and leave it high? Yes, he is. And that just gives him a bit more angle. Now, he doesn't want to try and come this side of the 9, I don't think. The 10 ball's in the way. It's a bit tight, I think. Well, he's trying to come in the gap. He's got a little bit of right in this to try and come in the gap. He doesn't want to run into the 9. And that'll do. And a little soft draw. A little soft drawy stun shot. He's running. He's got top in this cue ball now. Now he's digging in. Well, this is exactly the start that Eddie wanted. He's put himself in a good position. And now he just doesn't want to fritter away this lead that he has. And now Bedhead's under pressure on his break for rack number 4. And Bedhead's got the 2 ball. And, well, is he going to be brave enough to try the jump shot over the edge of this 3 ball? Now, we saw that the other day. Who was it that was playing the jump shots the other day? Because I've totally forgotten already. And the one thing noticeable about trying to play the jump shot with the cue is that you have to jack the cue up very high to impart that jump physics over this object ball. It looks as if he's thinking about it. Oh, it was Eddie, wasn't it? Aye. So, well, I don't know whether that's high enough. Eddie was higher than that when he was trying. He had a higher angle than that. Well, he's done it. But he must have put a bit of spin in the cue ball. Welcome to Larry. Well, this is a fairly easy safety here for Eddie. He can have Bedhead in trouble. Well, he wanted to make it as difficult as he could. If he finished, I mean, we can still kick it off the rail. It was never going to be that hard to hit the 1. Bedhead's called the 9 ball just in case. And that's a good result. Now, is that going to go in behind the 6 and 10? Well, it's went far enough where Bedhead can't cut it, but he might be able to punch this to the rail, play it in off the 9 ball. That is, I think, the only option available here if he's going to be aggressive. Well, he's calling the 9, so he looks as if he's playing the billiard. Or is he trying to punch the 1 into the rail? Yeah, I think, well, now he's calling the crossbank in the 1. I don't know why he's not trying the punch into the 9. Well, that's where you wanted to go. If you get the bank wrong, you want to get it off that long rail to finish in the top rail. I think that there was a possibility of punching that 1 to the rail, hitting the 9 and getting off it. Oh, it needs to miss the pocket. Well, that could have been a much better safety shot had it not caught that knuckle. It's still fine as far as what Bedhead's going to be able to do with this 1 ball. Now he can feather this with left English very thin and come down to where the 3 and 7 are, but he hasn't hit it. I think if he'd hit that a bit harder and come down this way, he might have got in behind the 3 and 7 that way. But it's still tough. I mean, this is probably fairly tight to that top rail, that 1 ball. So every hit on it needs to be really thin. And this looks much better. This looks a lot better. That is on the mark. And now Bedhead is in trouble. Now the line is there above that right side pocket. I think to go side pocket, he might need to play it with a bit of right English. He's looking it down the left side. But this looks a bit... well, he's got it. He's nailed it. How's his luck? Well, it's not a gimme here, this set up. This is a horrible shot to be trying to play. Well, he's looking to catch it thin enough. Welcome to Hazard. But this is, the cue ball's going to be running all over the place though. He's got no clue where this is ending up. Well, he's got the first part of it right. Now he needs a lucky roll here. And that ain't it. But he should be calling the 3 into the side here. Into this pocket. No. I'm surprised he's not going for the kick onto the 3 into the side. He's called the 6. Well, that's no good as a safety. I'm thinking if he's going for the aggressive approach, it would have been far better to call that 3 ball into the side pocket there and give it a blast for a kick. Because you never know. And in the end, he didn't really get anything out of that. And this is a golden opportunity for Bedhead to get off the mark. But it is on Bedhead's break, remember. And we fully expect him to get out here. Loads of room to get on the 6. Shouldn't be any problem. Well, this is just a formality. Break goes back to Eddie though for rack number 5. Yeah, 4-second delay on YouTube. So in goes the 10. Eddie to break with a 3 racks to 1 lead in this race to 13. Well, 1 ball looks as if it's going in, but it's just been nudged by the 2. And that 1 ball, of course, is now left plumb on for Bedhead. Well, he can get around and on the 2. And I would think that he would want to be as straight as he can on this 2 ball, because that way he can just stop for the gap between the 5 and 6. It needs to keep going. And I think he's fine. I think he can just dink this in and kill it and leave himself in the gap on the 3 without having to do anything major. Now the only danger here is coming up the right hand side. He wants to run into the 10 ball if he can. Because that would be the way to go to get on the 4 ball into the side. I don't know how much he's going to have to tweak this cue ball. See, the angle's not great. He's trying to leave it into the corner, and that'll do it. I thought the angle was a bit better than that, but the right-hand English just left him in a good line in the 4. But this is what players of Bedhead standard will do in these circumstances, given the opportunity. Now, this rack started off with Eddie's break. The 1 ball was a set. It was going in until that 2 ball kicked around the corner and chipped to 1. Well, I don't know what the hell Bedhead was trying there, because that has gone pear-shaped immediately. He's left himself a dodgy cut in the 6 or the bank. Get my buttons working right. Well, he's playing the bank. And that's a good opportunity gone, but he's got away with it. Now let's have a quick look at what the safety options are here. Well, he could cut it past the 10, send it to the top rail, and come back down into the long grass. That's one shot he's got. Now, if he hits this hard enough, well, he's trying to. Well, that's excellent. That is excellent touch. I would have went for a bigger distance on it than that, but although he's left an edge out, it's still a pretty good shot. Well, there's no way that's cutting in. Well, he's called it up into the corner. He's actually missed. He's missed the hit in the 6 completely, and he's gifted this to Eddie. Well, this is exactly what you want. Not a problem in the table. 5 balls to go, and this is just simply unmissable, this. Well, again, some sort of angle. Now, if he wants He can come back for the 9, he can drop through for the 9 into the side, he could go around the angles and come out for the 9 into the same top left hand corner pocket. He had every choice in the book there. And so Eddie, on his own break, defends his lead and stretches it back to 3. And Bedhead's break looks very dry to me. And I don't think that Eddie can get that one to go into the side pocket. So he's now got to look at something decent as a safety here. Is he trying to roll onto the 5? Looks as if he is. He's going to run this 1 ball into the 8 and try and lodge that cue ball onto the 5. And well, that almost went dodgy there. I don't know where he called the 1 ball because I wasn't paying attention. I was yawning at the time. Well, I think Bedhead will settle for that. I mean, that's there's nothing doing there for Eddie. He could try and play the 1 ball off the 8 because he's got room to cut that 1. He could try and he could call it into the corner. The only thing is the pace he's going to play it at. He has to be thinking that if this did go in, he has to get out off that long rail on the left and back across to have a cut in the 2 and probably end up running into the 4 when he plays the 2 if that happens. Well, he's doing it the other way. He's calling the 8. Well, he's playing the billiard. Yeah, he's way off the map. But maybe that's not what he was doing. Maybe he was doing that and tying Bedhead up again. And Bedhead again is struggling to find a line here. Now, I think the line is, well, looking at the way he was there, coming around the angles here, I think there's a line to get to that 1 possibly from that side. He's trying to get it from this side, which is a bigger target to hit. Oh, now you see what I mean about calling that 1 ball off the 8? And Bedhead will be kicking himself because the direction he was coming to hit the 1, and it goes down that direction. The 8 ball was sitting there. Eddie didn't play it. Bedhead plays the kick, didn't call it. And, well, Eddie had the choice there after the missed call to put Bedhead back in. He's decided against it. He's trying to duck for cover. And once again, he's got it now. Again, Bedhead has a clean shot at a jump here for this 2 ball. And there's a strong chance he'd be on the 3. And he's looking around for options rather than actually taking the 1 option that most likely could work, and that's jump over the 3 ball and pot the 2. Well, again, I'm very surprised he didn't even contemplate that. Was Bedhead not watching Eddie the other day playing those jump shots? Well, he may well live to regret that, because this table is not a problem on it. And he's got himself an angle to get out onto the 4. And Bedhead's choice here, I didn't like it. I think he should have bitten his lip and gone for the jump. And more importantly, Maywell should have been paying attention to what was happening in Eddie's match the other day and how Eddie managed to jump those couple of shots. And Bedhead was looking for another option when the obvious option was staring him in the face. Well, where's this going to go wrong? I can't see it. But these remaining 4 balls for a 5 racks to 1 lead. Well, he doesn't want to be straight. And he can punch this in and get up the table for the 9 into the same pocket. He looks as if he might be just rolling through and ended up playing this long. He can pinch a bit of this. Yeah. And that was the right shot. And now he's fine, albeit a bit straight though. So he needs to look at where the 10 is and decide what he's doing here. He could just roll through. He can just cheat the pocket slightly, make that little angle and roll through and go to here and leave a fairly straight 10 ball. There's enough there to be cheating at. He's gone for the big VP4 draw. But he could have actually got here without doing that. But anyway, it won't matter to Fast Eddie when this 10 ball goes in. And now Bedhead is really up against it here. Fast Eddie to break in rack number 7 with a 5-1 lead. And right now it's Eddie's to lose. And the 6 ball gets kicked in. And that 2 ball this time nudges the 1 slightly off the rail. And once again, looking at this table, they're all there. The only worry is that if he gets on the 2, it's how he gets on the 3. Because if he's the wrong side of the 3, he's running into the 10 and can't avoid it. And then that's not going to help him get good on the 4. So the danger also is being aware of that and running through too far and hooking himself in the 3. Let's have a look. Yeah. Now that is fine, I think, if he can go forward and around the corner. Can he get around the corner? I think he can. At worst, he might glance the 10. If anything, he might not even touch it. But if he can just spin around the corner not too far, and he's overjuiced it. Now the problem. Well, you've got to go for this 100%. You've got to dig right into the cue ball, draw this in, and get to the rail and across. I think if he tries to, is he going to try and sneak behind the 10? Or is he going to, what's he doing? He's got fairly plain ball on it, maybe a feather or right. But this is asking to run into the 10. Well, the commentator's eye said it. And what I would have done is I would have drew right into that ball and try and juice it. I don't know whether the angle was great for it, but I still would have done that rather than taking a risk and running into the 10, and now he's got himself in bother. Well, that's a good hit. It's a good hit. And again, he's left nothing for Bedhead other than a very dodgy cut. And it depends whether Bedhead's going to go in the defensive here or whether he's going to decide to attack. And there's your answer. He's going to wait in a second go here. Well, it looks as if Eddie fancies a go at the jump. to bank this 5 ball, and this will be painful if Eddie can pull this off. You see how high he's going? That's the one thing I noticed. He's going really high, and actually ended up. I think the problem with the playing cue is you end up drawing the cue ball. But anyway, the end result is not bad. Now, is there enough of that 5 ball to cut it in? No, there isn't, because you'll overcut it. You can only see a feather edge of it. And Bedhead is in dire straits here, because the edge of the 5 he can hit will give him that. But how can he possibly keep that safe? He's decided he's going to kick it. Called the 8 into the side, I think, just in case. But I bet he wishes he'd called earlier on. Well, here it is. Once again, this table is crying out to be run out. Oh, and he's tried to stud past it. He's got away with it. No. Wrong side of the 8. Now, does he check it up and just cut the 9 in and run around the angles to come on the 10? That would be a simple way to do it. Just take your medicine and cut the 9 in. That's what he's going to do. Because there's loads of room to go behind the 10. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 rails. 3 rails, aye. 3 rails. I can't count now. I haven't had my dinner yet either. That's the other problem. The brain cells are beginning to rot away without food. But this is simple. You know, just get the pace right. You're out into the wide open country, and it's 6-1. Well, Bedhead is in a nightmare scenario now, because for the most part, Eddie's had these racks under control. And Bedhead breaks off in rack number 8. And he's got the 2 ball, but he ain't got the 1. And it's going to be, I think he's got to kick this. I mean, where's he going to push where Eddie doesn't have a shot in that 1 ball? He's got to kick it. He's backed into a corner here. I don't think he can push anywhere where, first of all, Eddie's not going to put him back in. And secondly, Eddie can't have at least half a chance of cutting this 1 ball in. So this is horrible. And he still left a bank. And needless to say, Eddie ain't going to refuse it. It's a good bank. This is all about a nice pace to give the 1 ball every chance of going in. And the cue ball's heading in the right direction. Oh, that's not the nice pace. He's given that a bit of a slam when it just needed a nice controlled pace shot to let that 1 ball hold the line. And he might have got away with it again. He has. And this will frustrate Bedhead as well. Eddie's getting the roll of the ball. Well, of course, that top pocket is guarded. And this is really awkward. But that 1 ball will cut in. It will cut, but he's right over the 9. Well, you know what's going to happen now. Eddie's going to be nailed behind the 3 and 8. a tiny bit of right English on this, I think, just to help the cue ball into the rail. But it's not tight enough, I don't think. Now, what's he calling here? He's called the 3-ball. And the 4-ball, of course, is blocking the angle for the kick straight across. Well, I think Eddie's a bit like me. He's not sure what to do here. Because he's asking to be put on 2 fouls here. And he's running out of time as well. He's on his last extension. And down to his last 5 seconds. Needs to hit it. Well, now he's done the ultimate error. He's broken out the problems. And he's given Bedhead ball in hand. And Bedhead simply has to get out. And this is big pressure on Bedhead right now. And this is just tricky to just judge the roll in the cue ball here to get nice in the 3. You see what I mean? I mean, that is just a bit tricky. Been so close to the cue ball. Now he's going to have to play the shot that Eddie should have played earlier. The big draw. But I think this is too much of an angle. I think he's heading into the corner. Or running into the 8. But he'll take it. He's got away with it. And I think he's got enough of the 4. Welcome to Jose. Must be after siesta time. Jose's woke up. Oh, he didn't want that though. And now he's going to have to manoeuvre this cue ball. The 5 cuts in past the 6. But the cue ball's going in the wrong direction. Now I would play this with a bit of left so that I would go to the rail and the left English punches the cue ball up to the top rail and out and hopefully on the 6. Well, he's found a gap. Good afternoon to Tam. And he's got a nice angle on the 6. He's inside the 6 slightly, but it's still fine for a little draw back onto the 7. Now, again, he has a choice here. He could let this run and come around and out for the 8, or he could go forward and check it for the 8 and stay this side of the 8. But he's going right English, so he's going to run the ball around and out. Because it's the cleanest path to get. Well, he's running it out. Now this means that he's just dropping it into the top corner pocket, I would assume, and leaving himself somewhere over here for the 9, which should be good enough. And that'll work. And this rack simply had to go for Bedhead. But the bad news for Bedhead is it goes back to Eddie for his break. Bit of left English there, just to alter the angle on the cue ball. Well, that's one achievement for Bedhead when he had to do it. And it gets his 2nd rack in the board. Now he just has to sit and hope he gets a bit of luck. And i.e. Bedhead. Fast Eddie gets a bit of bad luck. on his break. And the 1 ball's got in. I think the 9's got in. The 2 ball's hanging right over the pocket, and look at the table. This couldn't have landed any better than this. Apart from the fact he's right in the pocket with this 2 ball. And this is tricky. But again, he's took his medicine, and believe it or not, I don't think he ain't got enough of that to cut it in the side, can he? I don't think he can. That is really, really tight. I mean, it obviously will cut up table, but you don't want to be having to play that. But I think he's going to end up, maybe that might be his only option. He could also be lining up the jump again here. Yeah. Again, the angle was shallow. That's an excellent shot. Superb, apart from the fact he's got no shot in the 4. I wish I had the replay in this. Good evening to WizKid. Or good late afternoon, however you want to call it. Well, that's an excellent jump. Well, once again, the objective was to try and leave it safe. And that will do it. I think that will do it. Bedhead cannot get a clean hit in this. Now, is he thinking the same lines this time? No, he's trying to catch it. Oh, I could get it. Well, my eyes wouldn't pick that out. There was no room there at all. Once again, he's not got a lucky bounce or a lucky kiss in the 8. And the 5 goes past the 10. And he needs to watch the cue ball, though, into that side pocket. So he's digging in to make sure he avoids a scratch. This is all or nothing. Oh, he's overdone it. He's overdone it big time. And if it... Well, that's probably the best outcome Bedhead could have hoped for there, because this is still a cut, but it's not as easy as it might have been. And he's caught the knuckle. And once again, Bedhead gets a reprieve to pinch another rack here, this time on Fast Eddie's break. And of course, as long as this situation stays the same in the way that Bedhead is still behind, he cannot afford an error when he's at the table. He just simply has to get everything done. Well, this rack will make the score look a little bit healthier. He'll still be trailing by 3, but he will have first say on the outcome of the next rack because it will be his break. So 2 in a row for Bedhead. And now he needs things to work big time in his favour at this visit. Well, 2 ball had a clean path all the way around the table. It's gone in. He's on the 1. And he needs to watch how he executes this shot in the 1 ball, because he's obviously trying to hold for the 3. And he's just letting it roll out. Now again, without doing anything fancy with the cue ball, he can go to the rail and leave a long 4. He could go forward and come out for a 4, but look at where the 5 is. And also the 6. I mean, this is not great for the run out. And it'll be a good run out if he can get this done. And that's not ideal either. The best thing he'd have wanted would have been to be here to play the 5 in and roll down for the short side of the 6. I mean, you can get to the 6 from the middle of the table, but your chances of doing that, bearing in mind where the 5 are, is sitting is fairly slim. Oh, I thought he was going to push that 9 onto the 6, but it's still okay. But this is the biggest shot in the rack here. Got to miss that middle knuckle. He's played that well. Now, is he going to let this cue ball run big time? I think he has to. I don't think anything else will do. I think he's got to let this run and hope he gets a shot in the 7, because we know that when the 6 goes out the way, the 7 will be on. He's letting it run. He's letting it run. And how's the cue ball? That will do. That's excellent. And that was the shot. He had to let it run. You know, when you start running a cue ball, anything ugly can happen. But there was a fair chance he would get down and have some sort of sight on that 7. And now he's home and dry. And it's going to be 3 in a row for Bedhead. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for him. Because he's done everything asked of him in these last 3 racks. He's done everything. You cannot fault him for that. And that's the standard that Eddie has to understand, that he's in the mix with a guy who will not give up. So here we go. Fast Eddie breaking. Now under a little bit of pressure. He's still got a lead. So he needs to get that idea into his head. He's still got a lead. And he doesn't want to start thinking negatively or anything like that. And the first thing that's gone wrong is he's come up dry. And Bedhead now has a straight choice. It's a 1-4 combo. And the 1 ball isn't going anywhere nice, I don't think, unless he can get this right on the money. He'll still have some sort of shot in the 1. If he doesn't, it's going to leak away. He's trying to bump it in off the 4. And that's excellent. Excellent from the point of view that he at least got the 1 in the hole. But not a lot of choices available here. I think he's just trying to leave Eddie in trouble here behind the 8. And that's going to squirt out. Well, he can catch some of the 2 ball. But he can't catch enough of that, I don't think, to pot it anywhere. But what do I know? I'm convinced he can't get past the 8 ball. But he can get past it enough to catch a bit of it. Oh, he's going for the jump again. This will go over the 2 ball. No. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Well, he's played 2 jump. Well, he's played more than 2, I think, but he's potted 1 in the side with a jump shot. And he's potted another cracker there with a jump shot. But the angle he's got in the 3, again, he's got to let this run, and there's traffic in the way here. I don't believe he should try and get cute with this. I think he's got to go hell for leather for the pot. Well, he's decided no. But the first thing you have to do is get cover. And this time he has. And that's got Bedhead in a heap of it. Well, Eddie isn't blinking. No evidence of that. Well, I can tell Eddie's had a bit of practice with this playing cue. You can see how he's executing these jump shots. And I wonder if there's any players in this tournament that's going to be paying any attention to that. Bedhead clearly isn't one of them, because he's had opportunity earlier on to play a jump and pot a ball into the side, and he was not interested in the slightest. So maybe if Bedhead comes out of this match as the winner, he might be going away to work on that, because Eddie's used it to his advantage big time. And now Eddie's safety gets himself the reward. Well, he's just going to either come back off the 3, leave the cut in the 4, or go forward slightly. So he has to make his mind up. No, he's thinking 3 fouls here. And that's not tight enough. And there's a path behind the 8 ball directly to get to this 3. That needed to be nailed to the 10 ball. That leaves you in no doubt of what you're going to be doing next. And if he's thinking, he needs to know that he's not leaving himself dead straight on this. This is what he didn't want. He doesn't want to be dead straight. And the reason is there's not much he can do with the cue balls. He's still got to get out for this 5. And now, all he can do is drop the 4 in and do nothing. Well, is he trying to just come up the rail? Oh, he's trying to come up now. Well, this is just pocket weight, as soft as you dare, and drop this 5 in. The worst that will happen is the cue ball's running up towards the 7. Somewhere in that direction anyway, and he'll still have a shot in the 6. Well, now he's got loads of room. Needs to juice this up a bit. He wants to get high enough in this 7. He doesn't want to underhit this. So around the 2 rails and up the table, somewhere in the middle will do to leave the cut. Well, that might not be too bad. Because again, if he doesn't risk doing anything with the cue ball, he just plays the cut and let the cue ball come across here. Oh, he's getting to that too much. Now, I don't know whether he was trying to get over here, but You could have done with going another couple of inches. This is a tester. Got to have a shot in the 10 if it goes in. Maybe the angle he had was a bit more for comfort than he had in that shot, but that'll do it. And now you can't miss this. This to restore the 3-rack lead. So Bedhead's break, but the cue ball has gone in. Disaster. And straight away, Eddie with ball in hand. And the problem is from the 3 to the 4. That's the big problem. The 4 doesn't go past the 8. And it's really awkward to get on the 4. And he's got to try and get top side of this 4 somewhere to be able to see the 4 and see a pocket that it can go into. Possibly the side, but more than likely the pocket where this 2 ball's going in. And he's taking his eye off the pot. Well, that's the first big error from Eddie. A fairly simple pot in the 2. But I think he was more concerned about what he was leaving himself on this 3 ball in order to get the cue ball moving around for the 4. Now, Eddie's got the same issue. Not Eddie, Bedhead. And Bedhead's got a much better angle here to work with. I mean, he could also leave a long combo in the 8, but that's ambitious. Big shot. Well, the cue ball's running a good line. Oh dear, how's that finished? How's that finished? Oh, he's fine. He's fine as far as having the pot, though. Again, he's awkward. He's got not much room where the cue ball's sitting, and he really wants to jack up and just stun this 4 ball in. And that is very tight past the 9. This is not easy. And that was why that 9 ball coming into play. And how's Bedhead's luck? Well, it's not great, but it's not easy either. But Eddie is right over, Chinese snookered over the 7. And he's heading the wrong direction. But I think, again, you've got to go for this full-blooded and let the cue ball run. And that's superb. First class. Right on the money, because he's got the angle here. He can go forward now for the 6 into the side. I think he can stun it hard. Possibly. Let's have a look. No, he was a bit straight. And the only thing he needs to be wary of here is the right side pocket. I don't think he'll go near it. I don't think he'll hit it that hard. But you see where the cue ball's going. That's fine. Good afternoon or good evening to Semi-Pro. Well, once again, he's got to play the draw, I think, here. If he lets this run, he's coming in the short side of the 9, so he's playing the draw. He hasn't got into it. He hasn't got into it. And now, again, the Bedhead cut. The cue bouncing all over the place. Where's this cue ball going to finish? It could run into the 10 if he hits it thin enough. And he's going to have to. No, you've missed a good match so far, Semi-Pro. Well, he's nowhere near it. And Bedhead will be all over this like a rash. Once again, though, Bedhead's going to have to sit the next one out while Eddie breaks. In rack number 13. And Eddie still with a 2-rack lead again. Well, he was 6-2 up, wasn't he? Earlier on. So he's still in the lead. That's what counts. 1 ball into the side. Now that 2 ball is fine. And the problem immediately is the 3. The 3 isn't going anywhere. Is he going to draw back far enough for the bank? We've seen 2 cracking jump shots from Fast Eddie semi-pro. You've got to watch the replay in this. Eddie's sussed out the jumping with this playing cue, I'll tell you. And he's used it to his advantage. Well, he's called the combo. It's nowhere near set as a combo. He's going to have to cut this 3 out the way onto that 7. Where's my little doodle? He's going to have to cut it that way to get the angle to pot the 7. The little doodle's working, guys. But that's the commentator's eye call for the shot. He has to cut it across, and then he's just played the billiard. I never seen that. I'm thinking in the cut, he's played the billiard and caught me out. Well, he's got half a shot in the 3. It is not easy. But if he cuts this in, and he's got every reason to be expecting to cut this in, he's got to be on the 4. And that'll do it. He's missed a scratch. That was the only danger again. And now he needs to stop that cue ball right there where the 4 is and leave that angle in the 5. That's good enough. And now the only way this is going to go wrong is coming down behind the 8 ball. So once again, he's got to watch the pace and for safety's sake, leave it just past the side pocket and take that out of the equation straight away. And that'll do. He's controlled that excellently. And he's got a nice little shot in the 8 ball. Little stun in. Not a problem. And he's going to have a 3-rack lead again. Well, this just goes 2 rails, so he can dink it in, or he can just let it run. Whatever he wants to be comfortable with. He could have went 2 rails and come back across. He's now cutting this in slightly, but there's no way you expect him to miss this. Oh dear, well, he tried his best. He had a good go at it. 2 ball in. Bedhead's break. And is it going to be a possible 110 combo right off the bat here? Now he's in a... Well, this has got a very good chance of going in. He's got to bump the 1 to the rail, catch the 10. And if he gets lucky, that 6 ball might help the 10 in. He could go off, well, maybe it's not enough room. But he's not called anything so far. But this is a workable shot. Now, if he's playing it at the pace to give the 10 every chance to go in, the danger is he's going to leave the 10 over the pocket. Well, it's... I think it was a sort of maybe a half-hearted attempt at it. Now Eddie can immediately put Bedhead deep in trouble here if he can just bank this one ball and stick that cue ball on the 10 if he can. No, he's going the other way, and that has to keep running, and it has done. Bedhead in trouble. Again, he could play the jump over this 5, and he's not even considering it. So, this is something that any of these other guys, whether they're watching the match now or whether they're watching it later, have to go away and practice and be brave enough to practice and get that high angle on the cue. I mean, it's a bit lower to play the jump over this 5, but Bedhead's nowhere near contemplating playing it. Well, I think Bedhead's plan was just to leave things the way they are. The 5 is obviously awkward. He's leaving Eddie to do all the hard work, but where the 1 ball's finished, Eddie's having a go at the combo, and this might have backfired big time. And I wonder if Bedhead even looked down where the 1 ball was sitting, adjacent to that 10. And I'll tell you, if this goes in, Bedhead is going to come out of this rack feeling he's suckered himself. He has. He's suckered himself big time. He's not went down and looked at that 110. And consequently, as a result, he played just a sort of half-hearted shot so he didn't disturb anything in the table. And of course, with ball in hand, an open invitation for Eddie just to play the 110 combo, and Bedhead is going to be red-faced with embarrassment with that one. Eddie's broke off the 1 ball in the break, no shot in the 2, but more importantly, he's back to a 4-rack lead and 4 away from surviving in the tournament. And I've no doubt he'll be put back in. I don't think Bedhead will entertain this. I think he'll put him back in. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. Because if he doesn't, then Bedhead has to get this. He has. He's pushed it back. Eddie's got the same problem to deal with. How does he find some sort of path? Well, let's have a look and see how much of that 2 ball he can get. Let's say he's cutting it to the rail and it's going that direction. So therefore he's got to move the cue ball maybe with a wee tad of left. No, he's going to scratch. Now, he did call the 2 in the cross bank. I'm pretty certain I've seen that in the HUD there. And the only thing that went wrong is he's let the cue ball, of course, run, which he had to, and he scratched from it. Now, Bedhead has ball in hand for the 310 himself. And this would be a bit of relief for Bedhead to try and stem the tide here. And it goes back to within 3, and with the break, well, you just get the feeling that this match could go either way at this stage. if Bedhead can nail the break here and keep Eddie away from the table, well, that 2 ball's thinking, it's gone in. The 1 ball has opened up into the side pocket. The 3 ball is right in the middle of the table. The 4 is over the top right, and it's a 5-9 combo to continue the visit. And it all hinges on this 5-9 combo. And also, the other problem is the 6 ball to the 7. Now, if everything goes according to plan, he's going to be on that 6 into the top pocket on the right hand side. Now, does he get a good angle on the 6 where he can just draw back for the 7? So it's a sort of, it's a tightish space he's having to work in, but that's the one way of getting on the 7 ball. And this looks as if he can get this 5-9 done and dusted and leave the 5 there. That's more than likely what's going to happen here. The draw off the 6, back past that right side pocket, and he's got a shot in the 7. And it's looking very likely now. Now he's having a look. He doesn't want to be inside this 6 ball. He's got to get out. He's dead straight in the 5. That's the first problem. He wants to get out on the 6. You see, now he's with the fact that he was dead straight, he's now got slightly the wrong angle on the 6. I don't know whether he can still come back enough. I think he can. He looks as if he's going top though, and maybe coming back down this side with inside right English. Well, I don't think that's going to be any better than he probably could have done by putting the ball on the table with his hand. He's got a half decent shot in the 7. He's overcut it though. He's overcut it, and he's left himself short in the 8 anyway. And this is a gift for Eddie. And that problem started there because he was too straight in the 5. He was too straight in the 5. Where he was, with that 5 ball, where's my doodle went to? Where that 5 ball was, he finished dead straight. Had he been inside the 5, he'd have been able to come out onto that 6 and come back. I mean, he still made a good effort in getting there, going forward with right English to check the cue ball up. But that's a big miss from Bedhead. Well, Eddie could easily have come off the rail and up into the table there. I think he's got to stun this in a bit. I don't think he wants to be running towards that 10 ball. He wants to stun this in a bit. You see, he's running directly to the 10 ball. This could finish right on top of it. Now, he had to see that. And that's a big fail there from Eddie. You know, when you're looking at that angle there and you watch where the path of the cue ball's going to go, you have to stun it in to get that cue ball going this direction and not run down on top of the 10 ball. He hoped to get lucky there playing that. And that was poor. I mean, he's got the bank. But you can't be doing stuff like that at this stage. And he's still got the lead. And it's gone really awkward for Bedhead. But this will cut in no problem. But that was a poorly thought out shot there from Eddie. He had to see that. The little voice in your head has to work and tell you that you need to stun that into the side. And play the right shot, and he didn't execute the right shot there. You've got to play the right shots in this game, and especially at this stage in the tournament. You know, this stage, you have to be seen to be doing the right things, and not just bailing out with a half-hearted attempt to get on the 10 ball. And that's cost him. But what a break from Eddie here. How's his luck? I mean, what went in there? The 1 ball's gone. The 7 and the 8 have gone. And of course, he's no shot in the 2. But this table is up for grabs. Whoever can get this 2 ball. And if Bedhead can nip this rack, well, I think that no doubt that Bedhead may well put Eddie back in. But Eddie now has got to call the kick and the 2 ball into the side. Bedhead's having a look. He's maybe worried that if he does put Eddie back in, and he has put him back in, Eddie's got to call the kick. Again, he's not doing it. I'd be calling this into the side every day of the week and giving it a pop. He's calling the 10 ball for some strange reason. I don't know why. But this is asking to be kicked into the side pocket every day of the week. Now he has to get cover though. And he has done. And that will do very nice. Although it's not a difficult hit. And Bedhead fancies chipping this in down the rail. He's got to pick the point where he can catch that too. It's got to be perfect. Because he might end up just cutting it to the long rail and leaving it over the pocket. He had a good go at it. Now it needs to slow up. And he'll settle for that. Well, I think this is a pivotal rack in this match. I mean, whoever comes out on top here could go on to win this. But Eddie's got the first problem of negotiating the hit in this 2 ball and leaving no shot for Bedhead, because if Bedhead can see this too and he can see a pocket for it, he's got to be out. All out for the cut. And again, how's his luck? Well, he can see it and he can cut it. And he can certainly go on the 4. And he's letting it run, which is the right thing to do. And now he's good. He's good to be home and dry here to get to double figures. Well, the match has been on for 89 minutes. And how's Fast Eddie's nerve going to hold now that he can see the finishing line? But that's what he's got to block from his mind. He's got to just focus on the table, the way the balls are set up, and how he's going to run out. That's all he needs to be thinking about. He doesn't want to be thinking about finishing lines. Biggest mistake you'll ever do. You know, he shouldn't be thinking about his winning speech at the end of this match until he's got that sealed up. But he's 1 rack closer, and it's a big rack to win. And it gives him that 3 rack cushion again. And he's at the stage now where Eddie doesn't need to be taking big risks. And there's a fine line between taking risks and doing the right thing to get a rack done. And he doesn't want to start going into a corner. Well, he's called the bank. It's again a pretty perfect bank, this 1 ball. And that's going in all the time. And the 3 ball cuts as well, but look where the 7 is. What, you try to take credit for Slim? Well, he's overcooked that. But again, he can get distance between these two balls. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I forgot he was one of your. You were one of his scalps, Slim. I forgot about that. Yeah, I can well believe how you're rooting for him to go on and do good things. No harm in that, because we know he's a capable player. You know, he just doesn't get enough. He's again to defend Eddie. He doesn't get an awful lot of table time. Now, what's he contemplating here? He's not called anything, and that hasn't worked out. Now, of course. Well, Bedhead, I think he was trying to miss the double kiss of the 6 and drop behind the 10. I think that was the plan. It's backfired big time. Now, what does Eddie do? Does Eddie decide he's going to have a blast? Well, the obvious thing here is you just put Bedhead back in trouble. It's so easy. I mean, there is a possible combo in the 9, but I wouldn't even entertain it. I'd just be nailing this cue ball. It's not a difficult shot to execute. Again, I would want that cue ball right in there on top of the 8 and 9. And Bedhead's got enough room both ways to get a hit in this 7. And it ain't there. And now Eddie cannot fail to be 2 away from the finishing line. Now, just a quick reminder, guys, what was the predictions? I thought 13-10 to Bedhead, something like that. And who was it that came on and predicted Fast Eddie? Somebody called it for Fast Eddie. Was it you, Slim, was it? Somebody else did, I'm sure. I presume nobody's left and decided they've seen enough of the match. I presume you are all still there. Was it Bill? Bill might have been called away to a customer. Or was it Spectre? Ah. Well, it's looking good. It's looking extremely good. Fast Eddie from the USA leads by 11 racks to 7 against Bedhead from Sweden. You see what Bedhead says in the chat. I don't need to tell you now, guys. You can see it all. Well, Fast Eddie has broke and he's came up dry. And of course, we know the situation as Bedhead does. The balls are all there one way or another. There's a big problem with the 4 ball in the top rail. So he's played the bank in the 1. Oh, he's going to have to control this cue ball from a distance on a cut pot in the 2 ball. This is not great. I mean, the only good thing about it is the 3 ball is adjacent to where the 2 is. And that's well played. That's excellent. So now we know what's happening. It's got to be a 4-6 combo. And that is unmissable as long as you get right down on the rail. There's no way you're missing this combo. Well, he hasn't got there. I mean, okay, he should still get it, but he really wanted to be right down on the rail. I think he was scared of the pocket, though. Looking at the line the cue ball's taken, I think that was the big problem. Was he was heading to follow that ball in. But again, it was so dead set, it was virtually impossible to miss it. Now, he doesn't want to run into the 9. Well away from that. Now, what does he decide to do in the 7? Because this, what's the angle like in the 3, the 5? Oh, again, it's not ideal. He doesn't want to be playing a cut in this 7 again from the side pocket here. I mean, if he goes forward with loads of left English, he can maybe fizz it off the rail enough to come across, but I don't know. I don't know what. It looks as if he's putting a bit of right on it. Oh dear, he's going to leave the Bedhead cut. It's not a bank because the 8 ball's a blocker. So this is Bedhead's favourite shot. And this time he's nailed it. And Bedhead, should he put this rack away, and again it's still not dead and buried, he's still got to get good in the 9 from where he's sitting. And that is pretty good. I think the angle he's got, I don't know that he wants to risk doing an awful lot with the cue ball. He's got the left English on it again to check the rail and come back this way. Well, he didn't get quite as much on it, but he still got the pot. And he'll now have the break again. Well, everything's got to fall into place. And I think straight away it hasn't. No ball. A cut in the 1 for Eddie. And this could be painful. Now, if he can come up the table and at worst bump into the 10 or somewhere in that region, he'll have the angle and the 2 to drop down on this 3. So he has to go high enough. And he's bound to do that with the angle that he's got in the 1. Well, he's run into the 5. And that ain't good. That is not good at all. And look at all the traffic here he would have to avoid hitting to try and run this cue ball. He's got practically no chance of getting there. It's just a big hit and hope that you're going to let this cue ball run and find a gap. Well, hats off to him for that. It has worked out a dream. Excellent. How tight is that 3 in the rail? Well, it's comfortably off the rail. He should never be missing this. And it just needs a little dink to get the cue ball skimming past the 7 to the left to be on that 4. He's missed the 7. He's going to avoid the scratch. Just. But again, he's going to have to jack up and stun this 4 in and kill the cue ball if he's going to leave a combo on this 5 and 8. I think that's all he should be trying here. Well, he's just trying to drop it in dead weight. Now, no, he's called the bank. He's called the bank. No, now he's called the combo. Well, he knows if he gets this on line and the 8 does go in, that the 5 ball will be there or thereabouts, and the cue ball's up here somewhere. And he's now down to his last extension, so he's running out of time. And the bounce has given him a shot. Now, once again, I think he's got to run this. I mean, is he going to baby this in and leave a silly cut in the 6? I think I'd be running this. Oh, that 6 is off the rail. And he's got to let this go. Oh, this looks good. If it doesn't scratch. Oh, it's going to scratch. Oh dear. Disaster. He had to let it run though. I don't think there was any way to try and be cute at that angle and leave that on the 6 ball, but Bedhead's been handed a big lifeline here. Eddie on the brink of getting to the hill. And Slim. Oh dear. Oh, you're late to the party, Steve, but you've missed a bloody good match. I'll tell you that. Well, he took the hint, Slim. He's gone. He's gone sharp. In and out. Come in, Jinx, and then leave the building. Well, this is just a little stun draw. Back for the 10 into the opposite pocket. Or he can run, can he pinch the angle and run forward? Does he dare do that? No, he's even chickening out in that one. Good afternoon or good evening to Mark. You've all missed a good match here. You've got to go back and watch this from the start. There's been some excellent jump shots by Eddie, carrying on where he left on in his previous match. And Bedhead was 6-2 down earlier on in the match. He's been behind all the way. The best he's got is back to within 2. Good afternoon, good evening to Sylvia. Well, for me, this is one of the best matches in the tournament, regardless of what the result's going to be. And Eddie's came up dry, I think. Bedhead has some sort of a shot in the 1. Not great. Not great at all. Because every time Bedhead comes to the table, he simply has to nail everything. He can't be gifting anything to Eddie. Is he going to draw into the 9? Is he going to do something daft? Or is he going for the pot? He's going for the pot. I don't know whether he can get enough of it to take it down the rail here. Down into this bottom right-hand corner pocket. Yes, he is, but he's overdone it. He's overcooked it big time. And that has let Eddie off the hook. I mean, that cut into the corner was not difficult. But it's maybe a lot more difficult when you're sitting 11-9 down and it's only a race to 13. Good evening to Tommy. Place is full of Germans now. And welcome to Run Out Rob. Well, I tell you, as I say, you've all missed a very good match. Oh, this is looking as if it's dead straight in the 2. Yep, it is. So he's having to run in the short side. But again, he's got all the room in the world to get on this 4-9 combo. Well, I didn't even know this match was on until I got home this afternoon. And of course, I've had to postpone my dinner. I'd normally be at my dinner at this time. So I'm working on an empty tank here at the moment. Well, you You can't be under that much pressure, Tommy, if you're at work, but you still get time to sit and to sit and watch the stream. Well, whatever you do, guys, get this on the rerun and watch the 2 jump shots that Eddie plays earlier in the match. Absolutely first class. The only guy that's been brave enough to play them. But more importantly, play them and actually, well, okay, I think he jumped one and it didn't work out, but the 2 that he did get, he nailed them good and proper. And is he going to nail this one? Well, again, the big VP4 escape route. And don't forget the 8 ball still hanging over that top corner pocket, because I didn't even notice it was there. So all he's got to do is keep the cue ball on the table, leave the cut on that 7 onto the 8, and the 7's got to be over the pocket. But he's also got to think about the cue ball right here, because if the 7 follows it in, he doesn't want to leave himself dead in the 10 ball. You see, well, it hasn't gone in, so he's fine. Now a little stun up to there will do. He's coming back the way though. He could have went either way. It was 6.5 a dozen, whatever he's happy with. But this will take him most certainly to the hill. So here we go. Bedhead's break. A break to try and survive in the tournament. Straight away, the big fail. He's missed the pot and he scratches the side. And Eddie studying the table, because the problem is the 4 ball. The 4 ball right down on this bottom rail. It's not a combo with the 10. And then the other problem is the 6 ball. Well, he's got the shot. Now again, I would want to cut this in and just come back off it, because that way you know you're on the right hand side of the table and you're going to see the 5. I don't quite like as much going forward here, because it's a surefire guarantee you're on the 5 if you stun this in and dig in and just come back the way. I mean, you can still get on the 5 going forward, but I'd still be much more happier, considering that the 4 ball's off the rail. I'd be just happier digging this in and stunning back. Now let's have a look. Now that's just a wee bit testy. He doesn't want to run into the 8. He's put left English to come over, but he doesn't want. I don't think he'll be hitting the 8, but he wants to come far enough though to see this 6 ball. He's got to get it far enough. What's he doing now? He's got loads of left on this. Does he need as much as that? I don't think he does. I'm a bit worried about what he's doing here. And there you go. The commentator's eye saw it again. Far too much left English on it. He didn't need that amount. But now he's got a chance to try and show off this jump cue execution. Well, that's how you do it, guys. Just like that. Another excellent jump shot. Dodgy in the 7. Big shot in the 7. Well, I know what I'd be doing. I'd still be running this with left-hand English, not an awful lot, but I'd be stunning it in firm and getting the cue ball running. And he didn't have the stun, and he didn't have the English, and that's why he ran into the 10 anyway. And so Bedhead gets a reprieve again. And of course, at the point of no return, can't fail on anything that he tries, whether it's a pot, a safety. He must be perfect from here on in, and plus the fact he needs some help. But he's going to get to double figures, that's a certainty. And now Spectre's call of Fast Eddie 13 racks, Bedhead 10 is on the cards. Especially now that Eddie's breaking for the match. No joy. No joy, and what's more, look at the 1 ball and the 2 ball into the side, 3 ball into the corner, 4 ball into the top right, 5 ball back into the corner, and the problem is the 5 to the 6. Bear in mind the 2 ball and everything's going to be out of the way, so there's loads of room on the right hand side to get on that 6 ball. But we're not quite there yet. He's still got to get there. Well, was it 13-11? Oh, well, you're not far off it. But if Bedhead can see this through, then it's very much on the cards. He's the wrong side of the 4. And this is a problem if all he's going to do is just roll this in and leave himself at a further distance on this 5. And he's having a look at the 6. Now let's have a look at how he is in the 4. You see, if he just drops it in and does nothing at all, the problem's all the traffic here. So he's just going to drop it in, he's going to end up here. And it needs to get off the rail. Well, this is a huge shot. This is make or break. He needs to watch the side pocket. He might be going just 2 rails or 3 rails here, and the danger's then the cut in the 6 and running into the 9. No, he's digging in. He's got to watch the side pocket. He's avoided that. He's well above it. And now he's fine. He's home and dry here. Well, this will be the closest that Bedhead has been in this match since 0-0 at the start of it. Got to come back far enough. He doesn't want to leave himself on the short side of the 9. And that's fine. Just a roll through. And of course now Bedhead is going to be breaking to take this match all the way. And he needs the best break of the match to happen right now if he can. Oh, the 3 ball thought about it, the 2 ball thought about it, the 1 ball went past the side pocket, but it's dry. And the 8 ball is awkward. But where the 7 ball is would make it good to get somewhere behind that 8 ball. But we're well away from that prospect yet. Fast Eddie's got to find a decent safety here. Oh, this is dicey. And he's going to be in dire straits in a minute. He should be locked up here one way or another. Well, that'll do. He's not jumping that. But he's going now. Look at this setup here. If he somehow hits that one, and it hits that 8 and 10, it could go in off the 5. What a shot this would be for the match. He's got to go hell for leather. Yeah, he's way off it. But that was a possibility. But Bedhead has got his opportunity from the safety. He has ball in hand, but he daren't try anything fancy with this 110. That 3 balls get far too much in the pocket, and he's now got to study and be sure of where he's going, like I've always said, before you make that first move, which is what he's doing. Now, the first couple of parts of this aren't going to be a problem. It's going to be 1, 2, and make sure you're well over on the left-hand side for the 3. And I think his idea is to pot the 3 and bump out and leave a long 4, unless he got somehow really good in the 3. But the chances are he's going to have to leave a long 4, and the 5 ball's wide open into that top corner. No, he doesn't want to overcook it though. He doesn't want to do this. Oh, I tell you, he's dicing with death here. That was not the shot. I don't believe he tried to play into this gap. He could have, but it didn't look like it. I'm not convinced. But this is still horrible. Yeah, he just tried to kill it and leave it long. Now, this is the most important shot. Now he can go big time and let the cue ball run. And even if he bumps the 8, he's still in the 5. If he's going with a bit of top and right, he's checking it to come this way, and he has to hit it enough to come past the 7 and 8. I'll tell you, he's diced with death maybe once too often, has he? No, he's still okay. Oh, he can just get there. It needs to slow up. He doesn't want to land on top of it. He's okay. Well, do you think the nerves are kicking in here? Or is Bedhead just sitting there, no panic, no sweat at all? He needs to watch the scratch on the side if he dinks this in to come out. Yeah, he's controlled it well, because that cue ball was heading opposite side pocket. Now, angle might be that he's just got through. Yeah, for the 8 into the side. Everything's simple. Well, fair play to Bedhead. He's done what great players do. He's held his nerve. And he's still there. And of course, now Eddie has all the pressure on him. And he's going to be breaking for the match. We are Hill, folks. And we are 2 hours old. And we're going all the way. Well, like I said, not because it's went Hill. It's been the best match of the tournament. Because they've ground it out. And Eddie has got the 1, the 3 ball. He's on the 2. But this 4 ball, he just needs to be sort of there. I don't think he can go very much further anywhere else. He might be able to. Let's have a look. I mean, we'll give him the 2 ball. He's going to pot that. Let's have a look at this 4. This is very, very tight. I think, well, he's got to be hitting the 4 ball first and then hitting the 10. He can't be fouling it. But as long as he's where the cue ball is there, let's see whether that'll do it. He's fine. That's perfect. But having to play the draw shot for position on this 5 is a test. He's tried the big stun draw, and that is pretty much as good as he could get without overdoing it and hooking himself behind the 9. Now he could be again just dropping this in, or is he going to go the 2 rails and go through with the shot? Oh, he's going to be in that little testy angle. And it may well have to be the 7-8 combo. I don't think he should be trying anything else fancy. You've got to do it the right way the cue ball wants to go. You've got to just let it run and be on that combo. I can't believe he's going to try anything different. Well, this is a test of your nerve. I mean, you know what the cue ball wants to do, so you should let the cue ball do that and come up on a line on the 7. And that's perfect. It's opening up, and it's opening up even more. Well, the match is in his grasp. He can only throw it away now. It's just a dead weight roll, nothing powerful, and keep that 7 ball there. The 8 ball's got to go in. You can't miss this. I mean, you're looking at this right down the barrel of a gun. It's got to go in. Well, now, just a little dink and leave that 9 ball straight in. So this is a nervy one. A straight in 9 ball, guaranteed 10, and it's all over. And well done to Fast Eddie. He came through in the end with a break and run, wasn't it, to win the match. That was superb. And that now should give him confidence to have no fear against anybody that's left in this tournament, because he's taken out Bedhead, and Bedhead battled all the way. Hats off to Bedhead. You know, he just hung in there. He wasn't playing great. He wasn't getting the best of shape. But he made it a match, and Eddie held his nerve, because you're always going to get tested. If you're going to be a potential contender, if you've maybe been overlooked as a possible winner in the tournament, you come out a result like this, then you're a contender, because you've done it, you've came through it, and I'm sure he broke and ran for the match. So that is holding your nerve and getting it done. Bedhead, as he's saying there, he got in a hole too early. He left himself chasing all the way, but Eddie was asked a question in the final rack, and he came up with the goods, and he done it all perfectly. So congratulations to Eddie. Superb win and a great match. But that's not the only great match we've got, folks. It's little plug time. Because if we look, first of all, we'll look at the bracket, and we'll see that Fast Eddie is now through to the next round. But the bad news for Fast Eddie is it doesn't get any easier, because he's now waiting on the loser of the Real Poland Power, the Stubb Barkers match. Whoever loses that is going through to play Fast Eddie, and Fast Eddie should have no fear. He's got nothing to be bothered about. If he plays as solid as that, if he gets... Now go back and watch this video and watch the jump shots. He's played some excellent jump shots in that match, executed them perfectly the 2 or 3 that we saw. So if you missed them earlier, get back and watch those. So Eddie knows he knows who's coming over, either Parkers or Stubb. But if we go and look at the schedule, this is the only match today. Well, it was the only one. It wasn't even on. I didn't know it, but I'm glad I got it. I'll tell you that. But the big matches are over the next couple of days. And after tomorrow, I will be finished for 2 days. So I've got no problem in catching these matches. And there's 3 cracking matches potentially here. We've got Mr. Bill from the States, Cobra from the UK, and they go tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Now, that match that we've just watched there was a race to 13, and it took the full 2 hours and 5 minutes or so, because it went all the way. So the match with Bill and Cobra, it could go all the way as well. But 2 hours after their match starts, we've got Stubb against Parkers at 8 p.m. tomorrow night on the winner's side, race to 13. And then, of course, finally, we've got the last sweet in the tournament. And it's the big one, Albinario against the potential big winner, Spectre Dawn, who wins all the Friday night 9-ball tournaments. A full bucket load of them he's won. But can he produce the goods when it matters? Well, the big test the first big test is going to be tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and it's at 8 p.m. and I will be there for that. So we've seen a great match today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Classy play from Eddie. Very well done to him, and well done again to Bedhead, because he showed bottle and battle, and that's what you need if you're going to be making things difficult for opponents. He struggled today, but even though he struggled, he still battled and hung in there, and he made a match out of it in the end, and he forced Eddie to produce the goods, and Eddie came up with the answers, so cannot fault him for that. Excellent. So if you missed the start of the match, go and watch it. It's well worth a watch. Tremendous jumps from Eddie, and tremendous bottle to hold his nerve and get it done in the end. So, with that, folks, I am going to have a well-deserved dinner. I hope you enjoy yours, depending on what time of day it is, and I hope you can join us tomorrow evening. Don't miss it. It will be well worth watching, and I will guarantee you I will be there. So, I hope you can join us too. So, till we meet again, take care, stay safe, and I will bid you good evening.